ungena eMananga border ulibangisa ngalo mahasha noma ulibangisa ehlane kunenzawo leyatwe ngokuthi nguvuvulane. Vuvulane is said to be a small community. Kanti ke ivuvulane mbukeli ibone kusungulwa kwenzawo leyatwe ngokuthi ivuvulane food market, which is just right in the middle of nowhere. Maybe just by the roadside. Yinzawo lenhle sibili mbukeli lesungulwe nguye Khulekani Msweli ngenjongoye kokuthi naye ufuyise kokuthi abe nenvo kumbe lengandlondlobalisa temnotfo kuleli ikakhulukati kuto tekuvakasha. Ehlelweni lelithi Buhle Betfu mbukeli unene Mpumelelo kaDlamini sibonga ngihambisana naye Eswatini Tourism Authority sithi hlomangwane vuka uvakashe. It's that time of the day where we get to see the beauty of the kingdom of Eswatini. Hayi ke mbukeli namhla sila enzaweni yaseVuvulane asesibone mbukeli ukuthi Khulekani yena yini labhizi ngayo la kule food market. Kanti ke mbukela ngithathe lona leli thuba lokubingelela ngiphinze ngikwemukeleke ehlelweni lakho naselangeni lanamuhla kufokotela lotho kubona nasesukwini lanamuhla.
In the small outskirts of Vuvulane is a small classy yet artistic cafe right beside the road. When driving past Vuvulane, you definitely cannot miss Vuvulane Food Market, an eco-friendly cafe that is not only interested in serving food but takes responsibility for its social impact by promoting more sustainable consumption that is in harmony with nature.
I'm Khulekani Msweli. I'm a designer by training. I'm trained in fashion design and art. So I'm a designer and artist, and I live here in Vuvulane. Well, the Vuvulane Food Market, which you can see just behind us, is a concept which has now been running for a year. So we started in January 2019 as a concept of trying to bring healthy food to the public, but make it accessible, make it fresh, and try and offer as much as possible organic food to the public, whether locally living in Vuvulane or any tourist passing by. It's been an interesting journey, as you asked, in terms of how do I transition from being a designer and then now having a food space in the middle of nowhere by the side of the road in Vuvulane. So I think that was something which was going to happen at some point, where I believe what I do as a designer is something which speaks to my general lifestyle, where I'm always one of those people who's always advocating for a holistic way of life, which means healthy living. And even if the clothes I design, it's about making sure they are ethically sourced in terms of the materials. So it's about a holistic way of life. And it then culminated in having the food market as just another extension to my creative endeavors.
Vuvulane Food Market has received several praises locally and internationally. This eco-friendly space definitely speaks to Khulekani's creativity and out-of-the-box entrepreneurship drive. Khulekani is not new to the scene. He is the brains behind the famous design brand Jerem Paul that creates artisanal-led, handmade products in furniture and fashion. Khulekani's background in design definitely played a major role in him creating this amazing market project cafe.
Initially, choosing this specific spot here in Vuvulane firstly came across there was just a need of making sure that the space is free of crime. There was a lot of crime because it's a space which is right next to the road and right next to our main bus stop. And you'd find there are a lot of people who are coming off the bus at night, and there were certain incidents which were happening in terms of rape and things like that. So I then thought it would be great to just make the space a more positive space. So the one thing which could involve in terms of turning it into a business, but also a social enterprise where we can offer a few basic jobs and great food for the public, and also introduce organic vegetable growing, and also introduce a different approach to how you can build your space from nothing.
From the moment you walk in, you are captured by the artistic and all-natural design space with handmade furniture and vintage style. Eco-friendly efforts are gaining momentum as more people realize that protecting the earth is important. Vuvulane Food Market has created green strategies into this market cafe in the effort to create a healthy and sustainable environment.
In terms of the building and the style in which we've used or I've designed the food market around, mainly it was about the whole concept of eco-building, which I'm one person who really advocates greatly about sustainability in everything I do. So even when coming up with the design for the market, for the Vuvulane Food Market, it had to be something really affordable without spending a lot of capital heavy in terms of assets and how to build it. So the easiest way and the most environmentally friendly way was a matter of trying to salvage old materials like old pallet crates, which we dismantled to create the counter, and we used to create the backdrop of the food market. And then even with some of the rafters around the building, that we had to use. There's an invasive species which is about 200 meters from where we are, where we just had to cut off those growing plants to use as a form of shading for the area. So yeah, so most of it is based on the whole concept of taking old unused material and making it new, and trying our best to make sure that we don't have a large carbon footprint.
Kulekani believes in self-sufficiency and rural development through entrepreneurship. He says it's all about restoring our dignity as rural dwellers by supporting Vuvulane farmers. This is why they source their ingredients locally by supporting local farmers and businesses in Vuvulane.
So the meals which we offer here at the Vuvulane Food Market are based on simplicity. So we always say it's about simple, good food, which is affordable, yet using organic ingredients. So most of our meals, we have our chicken open sandwich, and we have our chicken fried rices and salads. So also with vegetarian options in our salads. But mainly we have a small organic garden just on the site, where we grow our herbs, which we use as garnishes in the meals and use as salads within the meals. So that way it's always making sure that the food that we offer here is very fresh and is organic. We don't use any forms of pesticides to it, but we follow permaculture principles in how we try and grow our food.
Vuvulane Food Market uses items that are sourced locally and produced organically. Their fruits are from the nearest farmers market. Their herbs are grown right at the cafe, and you will enjoy outstanding flavor along with a smaller footprint on the earth.
Ever since we started, in terms of our target market or target audience, or to our space, we've always thought it's the general community who are coming to the bus stop. That was the first point of reference, to say we'll try and offer something, a muffin, a drink, to someone who's coming to wait for the bus. And also because it's a busy road which feeds our main South African border, which is Mananga border. We tend to have quite a lot of cross-border travelers who stop by and have a coffee and have a sandwich. So I'd say it's the tourist who is just crossing by in the area and needing something, a place to just stop by and relax and have a coffee and have something to eat. And also the locals, even the folk who are working in the nearby sugar mill, they sometimes come here for their lunches during the week. So it's a variety of people, but mainly it's all sorts. People coming to stop for the bus, a person passing by, and those that are curious, just seeing something a little bit different on the road, and then coming to have a conversation. Yes, we do have challenges now and again. At first you find, because it's an open structure, when it's heavy rains, you find maybe you won't have the comfort of just sitting on our garden chairs. We all have to huddle in this sheltered space. And also, yes, because it's near the roads, you'll find we'll have petty break-ins. People may be trying to see if we have extreme treasures, which they don't find any. So you might find maybe one pot stolen now and again, which is not a major issue on our side, but it's a challenge that's there because we are in a community which is to an extent, highly impoverished. So you find you will have petty crime now and again. But we are trying to make sure that people find it as a place for the community to engage and share conversations. But challenges, yes, they do come up now and again.
One should take a page from Kula Msweli's eco-friendly development. Being an eco-friendly prevents the polluting of air, water and land, which in turn have positive impact on the health and well-being of the society. Vuvulane Food Market is the perfect example of using non-harmful materials without sacrificing quality.
So if possibly you're a young entrepreneur or someone thinking of getting into the hospitality space or the food space, I'd say it's the right time to really get into it. More especially now, I mean, Eswatini is like in the top destinations to travel to worldwide. It has its highs and lows because tourism has its high seasons and low seasons. But I think it's a great space, and in terms of even barriers of entry are very low. So if you've got a bit of space near your area and you're thinking of starting something, start it, but be authentic to yourself and understand why you are starting it and for whom your audience is. And that way you'll have a breeze. It's great. So anyone out there, definitely start it. Yeah, I'd really like to encourage anyone who's either thinking of having a mini getaway, whether you're living in Eswatini, hoping to have a quick tour of the country. We've got Hlane Game Reserve, which has our Big Five nearby us. So if you're heading out to see the Big Five in Hlane, head out to the Vuvulane Food Market for your quick coffee and sandwich and a meal. And if you're an international, still planning your trip on Eswatini, I think stop by at Vuvulane Food Market. It's a great break from your road travels. And also if you're heading to Hlane, it's a great place. And we've also got Mbuluzi Game Reserve next to us. So we've got the great game reserves right next to the Vuvulane Food Market. So yes, so make it a destination as well in your itinerary.
Buhle Gallery ilime lapha endzaweni yaseDzeliwe Street kanti for the longest time it's been known as Indingilizi Art Gallery. In the year 2015 we saw this place change to Buhle Gallery Art and Coffee Shop. Ayike mbukeli incumbi yabantu abathi ukuthi what does this place have to offer, bathi nje ukuthi indzawo lethangisa noma kumbe lekhangisa ngayo imisebenzi yetandla kuphela. But it's more than just that. Asesibone mbukeli ukuthi kusungulwa kweBuhle Gallery yasungulwa ngubani, ayisungulela ini, nokuthi what does it have to offer one longathi uvakashela kule ndzawo.
Placed on the street that is easy to miss if you don't know what you're looking for, unless you're an artist with an insane love for unconventional coffee shops that serve rooibos lattes while jazzy music plays from an old school early millennium stereo. Buhle Gallery is ready to welcome you in.
Buhle Gallery yaqala 2000 yaqala Mr. Archie Magwaza, umyeni wami. Yaqala is thegallery.com, and then in 2015 we moved from our old premises to a new space, to a new bigger space, and we rebranded ourselves to Buhle Gallery. Buhle Gallery sayetsa ngeBuhle Betfu banele nahlelisa 2015. Sitsengisa i-art yekuhlobisa my offices framer, and we also have a coffee shop. We also do fresh cut flowers, and we supply about 40 offices on a weekly basis. You can also get your Valentine's flowers from Buhle Gallery. Yeah.
The gallery is but a small piece of heaven in a concrete jungle. Newly curated but unhung paintings sit against the walls, and in one of the rooms there stands a display of cabinets with all sorts of typewriters and antique trinkets. a meeting place for old and new.
Sivakashela the local people and also my tourists. We have an Instagram page, the Buhle Gallery 112 on Zeliwe. So a lot of people, when they see the post, they are curious to see Buhle Gallery.
Walk right out to the back and you'll soon discover a little restaurant with an indoor and an outdoor section that's lined with so much greenery and flowers that's hard to believe that you are still in the city. Their menu is a select variety of light meals, easy breakfast, and light dishes. Zeliwe Street is where you'll find it, a stone throw away from the historic theatre club that is a tall giant in Babane's walk down memory lane. Park on the curb and let your wanderlust lead you to the most chic foodie spot that the city has ever seen thus far. Shop a painting or spend some time viewing the works of local artists. Unwind, hide out or relax. Whatever it is that you are seeking, you are bound to find it here.
Mbukeli nawe uyadibonela ukuthi iBuhle Gallery indzawo longayivakashela nje na ufuna kugcibeleka kumbe during your lunch break noma kumbe khona lo office kukwenda kumbe uphumule kuko edolobheni. It is not just a place lethengisa artworks kuphela kodwa indzawo lapho khona nawe you could grab a coffee or even a light meal. Njengoba phela kudla kwabo mbukeli nako kuyanambitha sibili. Aw bathi ke lokungapheli kuyahlola sesifike khona emaphethelweni elihlelo lakho lelithi Buhle Betfu kodwa ngiyakuthembisa mbukeli ukuthi evikini lelitako ngesikhathi sesifana ngidabenge nawe khona la ehlelweni lakho sibona bona buhle belivela kangwane namhla ke mbukela ngithathe lona leli thuba lokufiselana impela sonto lenhle nekubukela lokuhle inhlelo ntakho letilandzelako sale kahle.